We're just talking.
Hey everybody, good night. Good night.
Going.
Yeah, here with
so
Truth
mad.
Unveiled. We've got Mystic Dean and Truth Unveiled. We're going to just be discussing some different things, maybe going into the Quran, and I think we chose a surah that we want to go through and just talk about it. How y'all doing? Good as usual. It's cold. You guys look cold.
Yeah,
it's
we're
nice.
in New York. It's
I
nice.
love the cold.
I love the cold weather. It's like 56 degrees or something.
It's just started getting cool, and we're down to 72 at night, so that's very nice for us.
Yeah, it's a relief after the summer.
Yeah, so this sort of talks about it's called Waqi'ah, and here it's translated as the event. Let's see. And it really talks about the people of the right and the people of the left. It's really interesting because it's almost like the right brain and the left brain. You know what I mean? Like the right brain is like creative and spiritual.
So the right brain and what's the left brain again?
The left brain, isn't it like?
I'm just
analytical.
So I always
You know, so if you're stuck in your left brain, like you're just completely analytical, you're not, you might not be like open to something that's more creative and imaginative as far as like,
like and random and fun, like yin and yang.
So left brain is like kind of like you just accept everything for what it is, and you don't think of afterlife or more to this life than just what's on the surface.
Like a representation of it.
Yeah. So like, but then you have like a balance. Obviously, there's always should be a balance. We have both left and right, so that a good balance. But you know what I noticed though, like if you fall like a little bit, what I think has happened in the world, like we have maybe at one point we were too far in the right, but what's happened is we've gone like left, like so far to the left that it's become so imbalanced that like the world can't even hold it any longer. You know what I mean? Like like right. you can only going
the pendulum swings.
Going liberal, like liberal, like if you keep going in that direction, you'll get out of any direction. You're gonna get out of balance. But you know what I mean. So so it seems like right now balance seems like super far on the opposite side. But the pendulum is gonna pop and it's gonna swing, and I think that's what this surah is about. This surah is like talking about the different peoples and what's going on with them, and then a third group of people who I think are balanced and can are like leaders. You want to say something?
I found it interesting. I did find it interesting that this surah talks about two different types of people on the right, like people who are doing good, and it's kind of like there's the doers. And there's the people who they believe, but they don't really go out there and do anything about it. But both are kind of good.
And then we'll go through
but there's like different levels. It's interesting. But actually, this thing about there being two types of companions on the right and one on the left. There's an apocrypha book that says when the souls die, they go to Mount Meru in Hyperborea, which is a magnetic mountain, and there's 3 storage places for the souls of people. 2 are for the companions of the right, and 1 is for the companions of the left, and their souls are stored in this magnetic mountain until the judgment day, where they go back to their bodies. So that's just interesting because once again, another book taken out of the Bible has something to do with the Quran.
Right, you can only go one way or the other. Like you're either wrong or you're right.
But there's 2 levels of being right.
Yeah, there's spectrum.
Interesting. So yeah, so
You always are wrong in a way.
I'll go ahead and read the first lines, I guess. It says, in the name of God, the Almighty, the Merciful, when the event befalls, there is no denying it's befallen. Can you pull this up on the screen?
I can do it easily here.
Yeah. That way the viewers at home can
there we go.
See this. So when the event befalls, there is no denying it's befalling, abasing, exalting, when the earth is shaken with convulsion and the mountains crumble away and the just dispersing, and you will be three kinds, the companions of the right. What of the companions of the right? And the companions of the left. What of the companions of the left? And the foremost, those are they brought near. In gardens of bliss, a multitude of the former peoples and few of the latter. On jewel-woven couches, reclining upon them, facing one another. Circulating amongst them are youths made eternal, with cups and jugs and glass from a running spring, wherefrom they have no headache, nor are they intoxicated, and such fruit as they chose, and such flesh fowl as they desire, and pure lustrous-eyed maidens, as the likeness of hidden pearls, as a reward for what they did. They hear therein neither vain speech nor cause of sin, only the saying, peace, peace. And the companions of the right, what of the companions of the right? Amongst thornless lote trees and acacias layered, and shade extended, and watered pour forth, and fruit abounded. So we'll just cut it here for a second.
Yeah.
Just want to point out, acacia is mentioned, which is a DMT containing plant. There's also, wine that doesn't give them a headache. So, people, it sounds to me like there will be like a lot of homes in heaven. That's definitely true. Like,
what I started to do is I started applying this to here and now.
Yeah.
Like it's very poetic, and like it's like talking about, it seems to be talking about like the hereafter, like heaven, like this eternal abode. But at the same time, it's kind of, I think it's unlocking a secret for even like in this earth, because you know what I mean. Like, what's the point? What's the point of saying all this? Is just like, okay, a great promise. Okay, this is what's gonna be like. Yeah. But I think that like how I see this with like the acacia is people who want to come, like if you're having an issue getting from your left brain into your right brain, like getting into this, this is a secret to get into this category to help you, like as a medicine if you need it, basically.
And it breaks down that, like, that when you follow this criterion and you live the way that you're supposed to on the path, like on the straight path, and it's like a wide path, but you have to find balance, you'll have those blessings in this life and the hereafter. And then when you're like doing the wrong thing, you're gonna have hell, like almost like hell on earth almost, but maybe you'll have your time for enjoyment for a bit, but deep in your soul, that hell in the next life resonates to this life.
Well, just to continue on reading, it says, so we left off on line 32, and fruits abounding, unfailing, unforbidden, and couches raised high. We have produced them in a new creation and made them virgins, devoted, well matched for the companions of the right, a multitude of the former people and a multitude of the latter. And the companions of the left, what are the companions of the left? In scorching wind and scalding water and a shadow of black smoke, neither cool nor noble. They were before that opulent and persisted in the great perjury, and said, when we are dead and are dust and bones, will we be raised? Or our fathers of the former time, say thou, the former people and the latter will be gathered together at the appointed time of the known day. Then you the straying and the denying, you will eat from the tree of Zakum and fill your bellies therewith, and drink on top of that with scalding water, and drink as thirst-racked camels drink. This is their welcome on the day of judgment. Right there, like,
yeah, like
when you hear that description, you have to like fear hell, like it just like resonates with you. If you
I like the line 46 and persisted in the great perjury. It's like this life you see there's like an organized system of denial, and like it pushes it on the people in masses, like with schooling and government, and like that's kind of like the great perjury is like the watching Simpsons and laughing at God and listening to music and mocking God, and talking to your friends and mocking God, and never really living for the right reason.
Yeah, and really taking the wrong things as truth and the right things.
Yeah, just blatantly denying. Like you can see people with a veil over them when you talk to them, and they deny any fact. It doesn't even click in my head how you can just be like, no.
Yeah.
No, I can't believe it. It's like, well, it's just like talking to like a wall at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the perjury, like, yeah.
No, go ahead.
And the perjury is also saying they own this, like saying like the perjury is like, well, like it's kind of like idolizing the earth or something. Like a perjury is like, isn't that stealing something? Kind of like perjuring is faking a signature, faking a signature, right? So it's like the great faking of the signature is like saying that like the presidents like know everything, or the TV is all knowing. Like some people,
just kind of like he said, like the left brain, like just taking this for this is all there is, and there is nothing else.
It's a two-sided coin, and beyond that side that's on the top,
Yeah. So this is almost like, so I always like to bring it back to like, it's like a parable or something for the state of how the state of how we are now, like why is this up here? Go away, bar. Maybe it'll go away. Like people who the people who are super corrupt, and they're just the madness that's going on in the world, and people who hurt people. This is almost like explaining like the state of their consciousness within themselves. Like, like they're drinking scalding water, like it's not like actual scalding water the way I'm talking about it now. It's like these people are walking around and they're just horrible inside. You know what I mean? Like they're thirsty. They're like it says like, and drink like a thirst rack camel drink, and fill their like the tree of Zakum, and they fill their bellies with it. It's almost like all this stuff that they're doing is just corrupting them more and more, and they have all this evil, horrible stuff within them, and this is kind of like explaining that, like they're going through torture because their soul is being tortured right now too, and in the next life.
Well, it's I totally agree, and it's almost like a fractal. Like a fractal is like a mathematical formula that repeats itself over and over again, but keeps getting greater and greater. So like in this life, they're not literally drinking scalding water, but they are kind of drinking like thirst trap camels, and the water that they're drinking is kind of scalding them.
Burning their soul.
Yeah. And then in the next life, it's like the next evolution of that fractal. Like now they are literally drinking it, and
like really like in a crazy.
In this life, they're like filling their bodies with crap, and in the next life, they're literally eating of a tree of Zakum, which is even worse. Yeah, we can fix it. Okay, so
God protect us from jinn while we talk about this.
Yeah, so as I was saying, it's like a fractal because it repeats itself. Like you said, in this life, they kind of are drinking scalding water and drinking as the thirst trap camels drink, and in the next life, their actions in this life become a more extreme reality, where they literally are drinking scalding water and literally drinking like thirst trap camels.
Right.
And it's like a manifestation, like you said. It's like they're the companions of the left, but they literally use their left brain the whole time. And the companions of the right are more in tune with their right brain.
Right.
So
There's definitely more,
moving
but there's
forward,
just definitely more balance. Here,
yeah.
let me share the screen again here.
Yeah, let's do that.
All right.
So, line 56, I think we left off on, it says, "This is their welcome on the day of judgment. We created you, oh, that you but gave credence. Have you considered what you emit? Did you create it, or are we the creators?" And interesting note here, when it says we, I believe it's referring to God and the angels, because what I read in the Nag Hammadi text is that the angels had power to create things, but it wasn't like they could just create anything they want. They had to get approval from God first. So there was pairs of angels, and the angels would have to come up with an idea in a pair and get approval from God, and then they could actually create it. And there's a story in the Nag Hammadi text about this one angel, Sophia, who made a creation by herself without her partner, and the creation was impure, so she hid it in the fifth hell, which was the earth realm. But because the creation had light, since it came from an angel and there was nothing of light in the fifth realm, it made the fifth realm into the chaos realm of a world of light and darkness. The four realms below it were the four different hellfires. The fifth realm transmuted into a realm of chaos with the seven heavens above it. Interesting that 7 and 5 make 12, and we see the number 12 in Jesus and the 12 disciples, the 12 imams. I'm pretty sure the number 12 and 13 come up a lot in other ways too that we don't even.
Oh yeah, yeah. I have some. Later we'll get into that about the 12. The months, but go ahead. Let's continue.
The 12 months.
I was just thinking that.
Yeah.
12 sign.
And Jesus and Adam are mentioned 25 times each in the Quran, which is 12 plus 13. So you see, like, Jesus had 12 disciples, but he was the 13th. Muhammad was one, and then there was 12 imams. And there's a lot of numerology to get into, but sometimes you get into it too much, it becomes a means of denial. Like, it is true, but we can never really know all these things. So we have created you, oh, that you but gave credence. Have you not considered what you emit? Did you create it, or are we the creators? We have decreed death among you, and we will not be outrun. That we will change your likenesses and produce you in what you know not. And you have known the former creation, oh, that you but took heed. Have you not considered that which you sow? Is it you who causes it to grow, or the growers? If we willed, we could make it debris, and you would remain bitterly jesting. We are debt-laden. Nay, we have been deprived. Have you considered the water that you drink? Is it you who sent it down from the rain clouds, or are we the senders? So, it's like all these people, like, they deny that God exists, and they think that we came from nothingness that turned into something that made this realm that we perceive. Yet everything in this realm follows a specific design, the golden ratio, the Fibonacci sequence. And how could they deny that? And, like, when you think of the complexities that, like, just for rain to form. Yeah, so, I don't know if you want to build on this, but
no, I would have cut in. You're good. Thank you. There was something earlier up I wanted to mention, but
oh, what was it?
Hold on, let me just go to the bottom of the previous page here. Let's see. Oh, well, we can some of the yeah, that's okay. Let's just keep going forward. We can dive deep into like specific translations of some of these verses, like maybe in a part 2 of this sorta, because we could just get deeper in like individual verses, because some of the stuff, there's a few things that I would like want to make some points on, or like I disagree with the translation a little bit, but
if you think of anything, by all means put it out there, because nobody's perfect. Like, this is Sam Garrett's translation. He tried his best and he did a really good job, but into interpretation, like I'm sure even he would be like, just interpret it.
Yeah, like sometimes like you want to like follow, like even in the Quran alone movement, you're like rethinking, and then like the other day with Saeed Mirza talking about, not to go off tangent too much, but he's talking about like eating meat and like how like you know the way they kill it's bad and stuff. I kind of realized that they slice the neck of the animals in bulk, but they zap them to stun them before they slice their necks. So I mean, it's not necessarily like inhumane per se, and it's not really like, maybe it is a little inhumane. Yeah, it gets them stressed out, but maybe it's not necessarily anti-Quranic. But like, we don't want to like blindly trust anyone. Like even
I mean, it's how the cows are treated. I mean, that's more. I mean, more than like. I mean, you can kill a cow quickly, probably in a few ways, but how is it being like treated up until its death? That's a big thing for me,
Yeah, I agree. I want to have my own animals to raise too. It's like ultimate goals right now for this earth realm. Not ultimate goals is to go to heaven. But
I have a feeling that like it's like, well, there's a lot that I think is not translated correctly, like.
Really?
Oh, and just in like I think that it's very hard to get. I really think there's a lot that it's hard to get to the bottom of the meaning because of the tools we have. You know what I mean? Like the lexicons and the there's a lot of stuff like that's been put over from Persian.
Yeah, change their meaning so much. I mean, like, you really got to just feel it with your heart.
It happens, it happens.
Yeah, you know how Samuel, he'd be like reading and be like, no, that's not. There's something wrong. Like remember when he was like first reading the Quran, like he'd be reading and then he'd be like, oh no, there's just something's wrong here. I don't know what it is, but there's something wrong. So that happens to me like not a lot, but sometimes I'll be reading, I'll just be like, oh no, there's just. I have a gut feeling there's something not right.
A good example, what I think is, there's this line about cut off his hand if he's stealing. If someone's caught stealing, like
cut off their right hand. Their right hand.
I don't think it actually says right, but cut off their hands.
Yeah.
But throughout the book, it uses right hand as a thing that is for possession. So I'm thinking it's saying like if someone's caught stealing, take financially
what an ode do, like your hands. It's like your hand in marriage or something, or
it's like your wallet.
Your right hand's possesses something means like an ownership of something. Let's say you're caught stealing, then cut off their ties financially. Like if you're
their ability to do it,
physically cut off their
rehabilitate
hand,
them, or something.
Take like how like when you get arrested you pay a fine. That's kind of like cutting off your right hand, like taking money from you. Like, you're caught stealing. Okay, you owe us like 3 cows now. You took a cow. You stole,
Yeah, I also heard that it doesn't say cut off the hand. It just says cut the hand. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, see, cut the hand also could mean the same.
Yeah.
It doesn't say sever the hand off.
Yeah. Then you'd have people with.
Yeah, not like decapitate the hand.
Right. It's cut the hand, not like, but some people will translate. I don't know how Sam translates it. But do you guys know Quran Centric, right?
Is it a specific like YouTube channel or
something? The guy's name's Joseph. Really? Wow, that's interesting that you haven't seen his stuff.
I should go on and look
at it. We probably have, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. We saw the Warner. You ever saw the Warner's channel?
Yeah. I can't. I don't know. I don't resonate with that.
Yeah,
we don't either. I think where he went wrong. he went wrong is like
he's like still putting trends like literally like is brand Islam and mixing
yeah,
it with
it's
like
kind of sad because he really has heart,
but he has a good heart. Like he's really into it. He does this,
Yeah,
like way off a little bit. It's like he's hitting the bat right, but the ball ain't going on the bat.
Well, again, like to bring up the Nag Hammadi text, there's this line that the people they'll be so brainwashed that even if they escape the brainwash, they'll still be brainwashing themselves because that's all they know.
And I wanted to say something about like never bring like Sam Garens gets mad if anyone brings up hadith. It's like all hadith thrown out the window. And I agree the hadith is like a book for agenda. It is like a book literally to control people's minds. But the devil puts like hidden truths in the lies. And I like to study everything. Like I don't go to the hadith like this is my criterion, this is my hadith. No, the Quran is my criterion. But I like to look at the hadiths and I do find a lot of things because the time it was revealed, like when it comes to like medicine and belief on illness, like believing black magic and different stuff, I really resonate with that. Like when I talk. No. Mad. I'm sorry.
I mean, what you say is true, but you don't actually ever look up hadith. When was the last time you looked
I remember a lot of the hadiths.
Yeah.
I read for years. I read the hadiths. When was the last time I picked up a hadith? I can list like 1,000 hadiths right now.
Yeah.
What do you mean? Like what about like the which one? Like which one do I not know?
I know a lot of the end I know a lot of the end time ones. Like a lot of the
but I think like I'm not supposed to like believe these as like where I'm supposed to because it's a mind control brainwash. But I'm saying like you can still like look at aspects of all different books. You know what I'm saying? And find things that are interesting. I can even look at like fiction and sometimes find something that resonates with me anyway.
That's
like
true.
When's the last time I picked up hadith? I don't really want to pick it up because I'm scared of it.
Me too. I'm
a little scared of hadith, but
I like the end times ones. I like the medicine.
Yeah, I mean, it's like any other thing that you would go and pick up and read.
I learned wear period pants. Don't wear it. Like I don't wear tampons. Yeah, well, I was already doing it, but I read it and I was like, hey, that's confirmation. Yeah. And you know what I mean? Like wipe with your left hand is obvious because you're eating with your right hand all day. You got genies on your left hand. There's certain things that resonate with me, but it's not like a.
No, I agree. I'll be honest. Without the hadith, I could have never figured out what the genies were, and I believe I figured it out. I believe that they're parasites, and I believe they have an etheric form. They're like an energy parasite, and that's why the Quran talks about the domini and the servi because they're literally dominating us. And demon and dominate is like the same word, and we're serving them. And when it talks about like man serves demon and the demon serves man. It's because we're eating a diet that's feeding the demons, and the demons are they have little bit of power over this realm. So we're feeding them, and they're giving us the things we need to feed them. So we're kind of like serving each other.
As a parent.
Do you want to continue? You want to finish reading?
Yeah. This up. So is it you who sent it down from the rain clouds, or are we the senders? If we willed, we could make it bitter. Oh, that you were but grateful. Have you considered the fire which you light? Did you produce the tree thereof, or were we the producers? We made it a reminder and a benefit for the desert travelers. So give thou glory with the name of God, with the name of thy Lord, the great. Then I swear by the setting of the stars, and that is a tremendous oath, if but you knew. So just to stop it there for a second, do the stars set? Or is that talking about like on the day of judgment where the stars fall out of the sky? Or is it a mistranslation? Is it saying the orbits of the stars? Because that would be a tremendous oath. I mean, they all orbit around.
The other oath is by the boats receding in the distance. All flat Earth references.
Yeah, a lot of the oaths are flat Earth.
Yeah, I think this is one of the flat Earth verses.
Yeah, it's like a flat Earth reference.
Because there's the boats receding over the horizon. I think there's one that's I swear by the horizon.
Yeah, by the horizon receding.
Yeah.
You see it's flat.
And so this is by the setting of the stars.
Which proves that this book actually wasn't released when they say it was. A lot of the big thing with the Quran misinformation is actually there's added 1,000 years to our history, and they say that this book was revealed in like 600. No, it's actually revealed around 1700.
I think so. Yeah.
I figured it out. And the hadiths, there's a 16 something was released, and then the hadith was released actually in the 1800s. when there was a major reset.
Yeah, like I think it was refuting a lot of the 1500s information about when they started putting out the globe, and people started believing in the globe, and this came in the 1600s or 1700s and kind of refuted it. Then I believe there was some kind of catastrophic event, and when they did the reset, they programmed the hadith into the religion. So you have these hadith that contradict this book, but they did it in a way that people think they're not.
Because people all believed in flat Earth in the 600s, no doubt. But in the 1500s, 1600s, that's when there you actually see a lot of heliocentric programming coming into history, and it would make sense that this book was revealed.
The thousand years added to history is kind of like it's something you kind of got to do your own research and look into. It's a lot to explain.
You can't unsee.
But once you see it, you can't unsee it. Yeah.
What'd you say?
No, I was gonna say something, but I can't not on this platform. I'm not gonna say that. Talk about it.
Yeah. So I'll continue on. It is a noble recitation in a hidden writ. None will touch it save those purified. A revelation from the Lord of all creation. Is it then this narration you disdain and make denial, therefore, of your livelihood? Oh, that when it reaches the throat, but you at the time will look on. And we were nearer to it than you, but you saw not. Oh, that if you were without recompense, you but sent it back if you be truthful. Then if he be of those brought near, then rest and plenty and a garden of bliss. And if he be of the companions of the right, peace for the welcome of scalding water, of burning in hell. This is the truth of certainty. So give thou glory with the name of thy Lord the Great.
You broke up there for a second.
Yeah. Do you want to finish reading?
Can you go back to and it said like from 90, and if he be the companion of the right, peace for thee among the companions of the right. And if he be of the denying and the straying, a welcome of scalding water and burning in hell. This is a truth of certainty. So give glory with the name of thy Lord, the Great.
Yeah, it's just a really powerful verse. I mean, like thinking of like your welcome to hell is a glass of boiling water. Like just that in and on itself, never mind burning in fire while that's happening, you know? And it's such, if you think about it, like God is really asking you to have a certain mindset, like a certain train of thought. It's not necessarily like telling you to do specific things. It's more like just requiring that you believe in God in the last day. And then the path is kind of like wide. Once you believe in that, there's like many paths you could take as long as you stick to that belief. But for the people who don't believe in that, then their recompense is scalding water and burning in hell. And it's such a simple thing if you think about it. It's just such an easy thing. Like hey, the golden ratio proves that everything is created by a creator.
I had like a trippy experience when I was thinking about the fuel. People are fuel for the fire, and I was thinking about how like they're like literally gonna power something. Earth, like there'll be literal like fuel, like when the bodies go to this like underground system, it's like an actual machine, and that this whole world is a circuitry device. And oil does produce energy, and like what if people are burning in hell and stuff, like the density effect turns on and there's like crazy energy fields and then the heavens open up because of that, like
and again,
scientific
like Matt said, they're already kind of becoming the fuel for the fire in this life by using that
huge energy, just like pumping a system like a brick in the wall. All in all, there's a brick in the wall, and bricks harness energy.
Well, I noticed a lot of people into cryptocurrency don't really believe in God or the last day, and they don't really believe that they don't believe in flat Earth or that the world could end anytime soon. I'm not trying to specifically. I'm not trying to specifically call them out, but I feel like it kind of goes hand in hand. And like their problem is they're guilty of the great perjury. Like they don't believe that anything created them. They don't believe in a creator.
Well, not all. Yeah, of course, there's exceptions.
I'm general.
Like it seems like it's all about space and Elon Musk. And we'll live 30 million longer years.
Yeah, we have to get to Mars because this planet is dying.
Yeah, I think we definitely putting a lot of funds in misdirected funds. You know.
Yeah. It's just like exactly. I mean, it's a great perjury that if it wasn't for all these people just living in a means of denial.
I have a question. You know the line in the Quran about pilgrimages, or Hajj and stuff? Do you think that could mean like going to battle? Because like I really do think, like, not to change it up, but like talking about mistranslating or something. I think like the Hajj is like physical like religious war, or like God, like war for God.
Well, it's possible.
I mean, like shaving your head.
We have to look at all the occurrences of the word and make our own deductions.
Yeah, I definitely I think there is a lot that was added and lost.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to 100% rule that out. Like, I don't want to 100% rule out that a lot of this book is missing, but I trust God that we have enough
to work with.
That we could work with.
We could build a building with what we have. It's not going to be like maybe what we thought it would be, but there's only so much we can know. That's the Earth realm. We have like what? Yeah. Like it's like a prison, but it's good because if it was in a way too expensive, it wouldn't be the Earth realm.
Yeah. I want you to do this. It will blow your mind. Look at the Lotus Sutra in Buddhism. It literally says, "O world honored one," in the same way it says, "O Muhammad" in the Quran, and Muhammad means honored one. It says, "O world honored one." Then it literally says, "Of devas and mankind," like the Quran says, "Al jinn and al nas," of jinn and mankind. And whatever the source of these scriptures is, it's the same message.
I'm not saying that that's what it was. It's just that's what I felt like at the time, and I don't really think that now necessarily. But with the timelines being all weird.
Yeah, with the timelines being so weird, I had a vision once where I saw Moses and he was in 1800s clothes. Like he had the red coats and the blue coat and the triangle hats and stuff. And I was like, whoa, what if this was revealed like 200 or 300 years ago?
Yeah, and anytime like Allah is talking to the prophet, he's saying, "O prophet." He never calls him. And even in the tradition, you're not like they say Muhammad this and Muhammad in the tradition. You're not supposed to call him by his first name.
And you're not supposed to discern. You're not supposed to like have like any prophet on a pedestal. In the Quran, it tells you that like even you're a prophet, like you have prophet personality. Like, it's not saying like, oh, the prophets are ineffable. It says the prophets are not ineffable. You shouldn't be like, oh, this prophet's so good and stuff. And people directly go against that.
And literally, Muhammad probably wasn't even a person, like didn't exist. This is just some prophet. We don't know who. And it's a message
George or something
coming from the angels, from God directly. So it's really irrelevant.
Matter, yeah.
It's, and it's funny that these people actually like idol worship Muhammad. Like they literally
it's like Catholicism. Like
they're like Muhammad said, I couldn't wear red, so I'll never wear red my whole life. And it's not in the Quran, like, none of this stuff is.
Yeah. Like in that verse that says like the seal of the prophets. Anyways, we'll get into that later because we probably should wrap this up soon.
The seal, I've been obsessed with this line. The seal is what a king has a ring and he seals a document with the ring. That makes the document in effect. So this in no way is saying the last prophet. Because the last is different than the seal. The seal is just what made it official.
Makes it officialized.
It's like
message. It's final. Like it's true. It's correct.
But it's not necessarily the final prophet, because it literally can't be. It literally can't be, because if God destroys a community, he sends a warner and sends prophets to that community. So to say Muhammad,
I think there's prophets that of today that
yes,
they don't really use that word, but
check this out. To say Muhammad is the final prophet literally goes against the Quran, because that is saying that no community's been destroyed since the Quran was revealed.
And God, it says he comes to you in your language.
Yes.
So that's like, okay, so that's a whole nother thing. It's like people, there's teachers out there that are teaching the general truths that are already within the Quran. So like this is like giving you, so no matter what if there's a teacher out there and he's teaching you truly about God and stuff, even if it's just from his own from himself, but he's like teaching you about God and like he's telling you truth, you know what I mean? Like, and it's Quranic. It's like, you know what I'm saying? He's basically teaching the Quran, but not even really knowing that it's the Quran, because the Quran's in Arabic. Like,
yeah. Check this out.
It's in our hearts. I think it's like written in like the hearts of believers.
Yeah,
and it's sentient.
Wow, that's true.
But there's this book called the PB Bible. It was written over the course of 10 years by this black guy from New Jersey, and the Rastas followed this book as an actual
Rastas, you said?
Like canonical book of their religion, because the white people were too irresponsible with it, and that the black people will have equality with the white people. And he made this revelation in the early 1900s. They say he killed himself at age 40, but more than likely the government killed him and made it look like he killed himself. And this whole book is only like 14 pages. And he wrote it over the course of like 10 years through revelation. And it literally is a revelation. And you know what? Like, I hate to say it, but we do have equality now. Like, like.
I was thinking about the ornaments right now, because it's in this chapter, like after. Yeah. I'm sorry to cut you off.
But,
I don't know where it's.
Yeah. But, like, this guy was literally a prophet, and they literally killed the prophet, just like it says in the Quran. And what he said literally happened. Like, it even talks about the snow melting in Canada and the climate becoming warmer. And it actually, I have family in Canada. It literally, climate really did change that. Just a little bit, but give it a couple of years, it's going to be a lot more. So I think there really are prophets. There's even this guy Capleton that he's a Rasta musician. I don't know if you ever heard of him. He does dancehall music, but he had one song in August of 2001 where he sung about the trade towers falling, and the trade towers fell in September of 2001, and all the Rastas started calling him a prophet after that because his song came true. He has another song he made in 2005 or something where he talks about how the leaders are drinking the people's blood, and later on it did come out that they're doing Pizzagate and stuff like that. So I truly believe that there's prophets right now. There's been prophets all along, and it's going to be a thing until the day of judgment, because God doesn't destroy a community without sending a warning.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is why England got Sam Garins, because if you look at their society and American society too, all the English-speaking countries, they're really transgressed now.
I like how he's sending the letters out, the warning letters out to everybody. I was hoping that's what I like. What is he gonna do? Is he gonna like actually send stuff out to everybody? So then when I found out that's like what he was doing, I was like, oh, that's he's playing a big role. I think he's playing a good role doing that. But guys, I think we need to wrap it up. It's getting a little late, and
I agree.
My lovely wife, he's wanting to hang out with me a little bit.
I'm at my mom's house right now. I gotta go say hi to my mom before she goes to sleep. But yeah, anyways, final thought. We were gonna get some T-shirts printed with messages from the Quran, like the "Oh My People" statements, right on the T-shirt.
Yeah, that's cool.
Back. Yeah, just to like warn people in some way. But anyways, nice talking to you, man. Peace.
Yeah, peace. Talk to you soon.
Yeah, we'll be in touch.
No.